What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got some more I Do Work Here Lady stories for you. I accidentally get the owner thrown out of his own establishment. I'm one of the managers for a sports facility that stays open pretty late. Now, this sports facility is pretty big, with a couple of soccer fields, back rooms, and even a hidden band room. That is for the owner's use only, and it can be pretty confusing to new employees. When it comes to the late shifts, we managers only have to stay until the busy time is over and then leave it up to our bartenders to close down for the night. We also each get a different late night to help with consistency and make it easier for all. My night is the easygoing Tuesday night, which also happens to be the night that the owner comes in with his band to practice. He's always super nice and checks in with me about how things are going, sometimes asking if there are any song requests before going into the hidden room. One night I had a newer bartender who was doing both her first closing shift and first time on my Tuesday night. I stayed a bit later to make sure she wasn't going to be overwhelmed, and when things were basically done for the night, I double checked that she knew everything she needed to do before I left. I got in my car and was about 5 minutes away when I realized I forgot to tell her about the band room. She needs to check the room before she leaves, and if no one is there, she proceeds normally, but if the owner is still there, he'll lock up and set the alarm, and she just needs to let him know she's leaving. I sent her a quick text and she said she would take care of it, and that was the last I heard from her, so I figured everything went okay. The next day, I saw the bartender in the afternoon and asked how everything went. She informed me that everything was fine. The band was there, so she made them leave and was out on time. I paused before asking, "You made them leave?" She said, "That's what you said in your text." I reread the text I'd sent her and realized that the wording I used could be read wrong, and it made it sound like she had to get the band out before she left. And I now realize she also didn't know who the owner was. I apologized to her about the misinformation before telling her the sad news that she just kicked the owner out and she was humiliated. When I saw the owner next, I asked him why he didn't say anything to her, and he told me, "She came in with such authority that I could tell she was just following directions from someone, and I can't get mad at someone for doing their job." Needless to say, that bartender now knows the owner, and he now checks in with her too on the night she closes with me. Oh, I like this story a lot, you know. The owner is clearly a nice guy and just let her get on with it, and this new employee, she seems nice as well. Like, the owner probably knew what was up, but think about it, if he had said, "No, I'm the owner," she probably wouldn't have believed him. It would have caused a massive argument, so he did the right thing. All in all, he sounds like a very cool dude to work for. If an owner can understand a mistake, doesn't matter where it comes from, just understand it, that is someone that you want as your boss. Now for our second story. I do work here, go wash dishes. I manage 3 restaurants. I started as a dishwasher and worked my way up the totem pole. The owner recently retired and just pays the bills. The rest of operations is on me. I joke around and say the chain of command is God, the owner, me, and then there is everyone else. A year or 2 ago, a new shift manager had been hired, and when you run 3 restaurants, it's impossible to immediately meet every employee. But anyway, I was in one of the restaurants sitting at my favorite booth, and I heard the new manager, Dumbutt, talking rather loudly. He was standing next to a server trying to take an order. Now, this server has a slight learning disability but is highly functional. Now, DA Dumbutt was standing there in front of the customers saying things like, "You have to be patient, she is slow. I'm helping her as much as I can. Oh, look at you, your uniform is a mess, you need help." He was talking about her apron. "You could get caught and hurt yourself. We don't want you to do that, do we?" Berating her when she asked a customer to repeat their order. I leaned out of the booth I was sitting in and looked at Mary, who was the server. She saw me and I put a finger to my lips to signal to her not to say anything. Mary gave a slight nod indicating she saw me. I got out of my booth and walked around into the kitchen. The cooks and dishwashers said, "Hello, Mr. H, decided to pay us a visit?" "Not right now." Tony knew by me just saying that something was wrong because we usually exchange banter between each other. "Tony, do me a favor, tell DA there is a phone call in the office and tell Mary her order is up." I walked into the office, sat down and waited. Now the dumb-butt went into the office and I saw Mary. I told her I need to talk to her next and sit in the break room. DA looked at me in my street clothes and said, "Look, payday isn't till Monday, no advances." "I'm not here for my paycheck." "Oh, you must be here for stock," he said. "No, I'm not here for stock either," I said. "Then Why the frick are you in here if you don't work here? He huffed. Oh, I work here, all right. I'm your manager. I answer only to the owner. The penny dropped. Oh, hi, Mr. H. It's a pleasure. Close the door now, I interrupted. I heard what you were saying, and I saw what you were doing to Mary. You call yourself a manager? How the heck did you get this job? He said, well, Mary is a sweetheart who doesn't deserve to be treated like that. Yes, she has a slight problem, but she is one of the best employees and has more heart than you ever will. I'm gonna give you 3 options. 1, I fire you. 2, you quit. 3, you take a demotion. It's your choice. The dumb butt said to me, how do I know you really work here? I picked up the phone and made a call to the owner. Yeah, hey, how are you? Yeah, I'm fine. Look, could you tell DA who works for you? He doesn't seem to believe me. Yeah, I know. Have a great day. I handed the phone to the dumb butt and watched as the color drained from his face. He handed the phone back to me. Now about those 3 options, choose now or I will decide for you. I'll take the demotion, he said in a low voice. Good choice. Grab an apron and get on dish tank. Dishes? You're making me a dishwasher? Yeah, I am. Do you honestly think I would put you in a position over others? If you work hard enough, I might make you a busboy. He stormed out of the office and headed to the dish tank. The dishwashers who were back there were brutal. They considered DA as a new hire. I started as a dishwasher, and when I started, I got the worst jobs. The dumb butt was back washing dishes and tried giving them orders. Okay, boss, we got it, and the snickering began. What? You believe me? We have more seniority. Now go get the garbage can and clean the filters in the dish tank, I heard Mike, a dishwasher, say. I called Mary and said, Mary, are you okay, honey? And that's when the dam broke. Mary broke down sobbing. He does this to me all the time. He said if I told anyone, no one would believe me because I am a No, you are not. Don't let anyone tell you that you're different. And don't let anyone make you feel less of a human. You are just as needed as everyone else. We are all your friends here and we love you, okay? A slight smile came to her face as she looked at me, nodding her head. Alrighty, now go clean yourself up. Your mascara is running all over. Then go get your stuff and clock out. Am I being fired? Did I do something wrong, Mr. H? No, Mary, you just had a rough day. You'll be paid for a full day's work. And I want you here tomorrow. And until your father comes to pick you up, sit back and listen. You might like what you hear. Now go wash your face, okay? Mary went to clean herself up and returned to the office. We sat and talked. Then I heard a loud crash of dishes. Watch this, Mary. I yelled from the office, that's coming out of your paycheck. And I heard more dishes crashing and heard the DA screaming. F you, F these dishes, F you guys, F this restaurant, F everyone. I quit this BS job, kiss my butt. Every single one of you. I looked at Mary and said, I don't think he'll be back. He seems a bit upset. Or is it just me? Mary's dad arrived. I told him the situation and I expect to see her tomorrow. She is a very good, hard worker. I don't want to lose her. And Mary, go home, relax, and think about that dumb butt, all sweaty, dirty, wearing an apron, washing dishes, and laugh. And remember, you are needed here. Now shut up tomorrow or I will come and get you. And if a manager gives you a hard time, you call me. Mary left with a smile, and as I left, I walked past the dish tank and the dishwashers were sweeping up the broken dishes and laughing hysterically. I don't know what happened to that dumb butt, and I don't care. Well, good on you for being a good manager and sticking up for your people. They need more people like you in the service industry. It sounds like this guy was an absolute bully, to be honest. You know, preying on people with a slight disability, that's not cool. Yes, he deserved to get demoted and probably fired. I just don't really understand why some managers think that berating their staff and creating a hostile environment makes a profitable business likely. Like, that guy really needs to take some tips from the way you handled Mary's situation. That was so good from you, making sure she was okay and saying, you know what, you are so loved here, come in tomorrow. Now for our final story. Security won't let me into my workplace despite seeing me enter often. Some quick backstory. My city's hockey team has a very nice facility that includes many concessions in the arena, as well as a restaurant with a viewing area to overlook the game. Last year, I worked as a dishwasher in the restaurant, but now I work as a cook in the concessions. This particular story happened last year on multiple occasions. Because I was a dishwasher, I often wasn't scheduled until an hour before we opened or right when we opened, as they didn't need dishwashers during pre-opening prep. And since we relied solely on hockey game attendees, we were only open on game days and opened an hour before the game was scheduled to start. This obviously means that by the time I would arrive, security was setting up at their ticket-taking areas. One of the ticket-taking areas in particular was where I needed to get through to reach the staff entrance to the kitchen. Some of the security and event staff recognized me and would just say hello as I walked through, but there was a few times that others would stop me and not let me go in. I can remember one of these conversations really well, but it is not word for word because it happened over a year ago. Security said, "Where are you going? Where's your ticket?" "Oh, I don't have one. I work in the restaurant." At this point, I was already running a little late and just wanted to get inside and get to work because I didn't know how many dishes were waiting for me by now. "I need some ID to prove that." Of all the staff who work in the restaurant and concessions, the only people who have said ID, which by the way is a city-issued ID saying they are city employees, would be the higher-up. So our head chef, the restaurant coordinator, front of house coordinator, etc. So obviously I would not have one. "I don't have ID, I'm a dishwasher, we're not important enough." "Then I can't let you in." "Oh, come on, you can literally pull anyone out of the restaurant right now." I motioned over to the servers who were setting up for the night just inside the front entrance to the restaurant, all of whom know me well. And they will tell you that I work here. Seriously, I just have to get in so I can do my job. The security guard looked at me for a minute, then I guess decided it wasn't worth it and said, "Fine, go, but bring some ID next time," despite me saying that I don't have ID anyway, but whatever, I got inside so I didn't press it. Luckily, I now work in concessions, so I'm at work most of the time before security even shows up, so I don't run into this problem anymore. But a guy I work with in the concession had an interesting run-in with security just the other night as we were taking out the garbage at the end of our shift. Between all 6 total concession cooks, we have to gather up all the garbage produced by the concessions and wheel it out in 2 large bins. To get to the compactor though, we have to go through restricted access doors that only players and staff can enter. Everyone keeps their work uniform on as we do this, except for myself. I normally change back into my street clothes by then. They just have a jacket or sweater over top because we have to go outside, and this is Canada in January. We had finished everything earlier than normal, so when we took the garbages out, security was still there. 6 of us, 2 giant garbage bins, and the security stops the one dark-skinned black guy in our group and tells him he can't go back there. So he just says, "I work here," and keeps walking with us as the security guy shouts behind us, "Hey, you can't do that." We all had a good laugh at that later. Yeah, I mean, come on, a guy with a massive garbage bag, what's he gonna be doing? Probably taking out the trash. I do kind of get what the security is saying though. The no ID thing seems like a little bit of a safety issue, but still, that second guy, nah, racism is not the one. So guys, that is gonna be it for this episode of I Do Work Here Lady. If you have enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. Comment down below which was your favorite story of the 3 I've just read. Also, I want to hear your suggestions for future subreddits for me to cover, so leave your comments down below. Also, if you see a subreddit that you want me to cover down below anyway, just give it a like. The subreddits with the most likes I will cover over the next few weeks, so get liking. With that all being said, watch another video right away, and I will see you guys tomorrow with a brand new upload.